is indeed my pleasure to welcome you, my esteemed viewers, to Literature Hub 247, where the art and science of literature are discussed. I am Folahan Oyelekan, the admin of this channel. This video is about an African drama. The African drama is titled Once Upon an Elephant. Earlier on this platform, I've presented a comprehensive analysis of this play. I have several videos on this play. So if you need the link to those videos, just make your request to the comment section. So this particular video is about a Waec-Style question. That is, there's a question on this play that illustrates how Waec wants us to answer questions when it comes to Waec exam. So let's go into the classroom. So here's the question. Examine the theme of tyranny in Once Upon an Elephant, showing how Ajanaku embodies the destructive tendencies of dictators. Examine the theme of tyranny in Once Upon an Elephant, showing how Ajanaku embodies the destructive tendencies of dictators. Before you watch this video, I believe you have read Once Upon an Elephant. You know, the text is one of the recommended African plays in the WAEC 2026 to 2030 syllabus. So for you to understand what you are doing here, you should have read the text. And as I told you, I have several videos on the play. So you can make your request and we send the link to you. Now, this video teaches us, illustrates how WAEC expects us to answer questions. You know, we have certain guidelines set out by WAEC recently. So this question follows the guideline jealously. We follow the guideline of WAEC so that you understand how to answer WAEC questions. Now, before we continue, I have an ebook with a compilation of 200 Waec-Style questions. I have 200 questions in the book. So, and it follows the WAEC guidelines in answering the questions. This is the ebook. So, if you are interested, you can make your requests. If you are on Facebook, make your request in the comment section. If you are on YouTube, I will leave the link in the description of this video. You can also download it through the link. Let's continue. Ajanaku is the protagonist of the play. He is ambitious and power hungry. He seeks power aggressively and accepts illicit help to reach the throne. His very coronation is engineered rather than earned. That is, he engineered how he was coronated. He didn't earn it. You know, this is the identification of the character. You know, we said that any character mentioned in the question should be identified. He is arrogant and critical. He adopts the title Ajanaku, which means elephant. Publicly flaunts strength and likens himself to an unbeatable force, a posture that masks insecurity. Ajanaku is brutal and ruthless. He rules through intimidation, land grab, humiliation of opponents, and state-sanctioned violence. For example, forcing an envoy into suicide, showing little regard for life or law. You know, let's look at the question. Examine the theme of tyranny. You know, all these things reveal the theme of tyranny in that play. He is morally corrupt and dehumanizing. His plan to achieve immortality by performing ritual and sacrificing and raping a young woman reflects profound moral bankruptcy and instrumental view of others. He must rape a virgin to sustain his life. That is dehumanizing. He's desperate. His desire for immortality and absolute control indicates fear of an end and dependence on coercion rather than consent. Bosede Ademilua-Afolayan's Once Upon an Elephant is a sustained drama about how concentrated, unchecked power corrupts and destroys both ruler and rule. Through the rise, reign, and fall of Ajanaku, who styled himself the elephant, the playwright shows tyranny as an ugly mixture of propaganda, ritual manipulation, personal greed, and moral decay. The play turns the local Yoruba symbols and rites into a universal parable about dictatorship. What appears strong and unassailable from the outside is internally fragile and ultimately self-undermining. Tyranny in the play begins not with popular consent, but with manipulation. Ajanaku's coronation is engineered. It takes power through bribery, falsified rights, and the betrayal of custodians of tradition. That origin is important. The play insists that tyrants really rule because they are deserved. They are installed by weak institutions and complicit elites. Let's look at that again. That origin is important. The play insists that tyrants really rule because they are deserved. They are installed by weak institutions and complicit elites. By showing the subversion of ritual and law, Ademilua-Afolayan links political illegitimacy with moral illegitimacy. When sacred customs are perverted to crown an oppressor, as we have in the case of Ajanaku, the social contract is broken and tyranny takes root. Once in power, Ajanaku rules by spectacle, intimidation, and arbitrary violence. He seizes land, ignores customary justice, and humiliates or eliminates opponents. The stage episode in which the dissenters are punished and a visiting envoy is driven to suicide dramatizes the atmosphere of fear through his action. It creates fear in the people. Tyranny here is not bureaucratic alone, it is performative. The ruler's flamboyant self-identification as an elephant signals a politics of domination. I am bigger, I trample, and beyond contest. The play therefore exposes how authoritarian leaders substitute force and theater for legitimacy and reason. Ajanaku's attempt to secure immortality by commissioning a grotesque ritual that would sacrifice a young woman refutes the moral abyss of tyrants. His desire to escape death and criticism pushes him into barbaric solutions that degrade others, most notably desolate and expose his fundamental insecurity. When he have any affair with a virgin, the virgin will be dying instrumentally to sustain his own life. That is wickedness. The proposal to pervert the Ijedudu right signals the final moral collapse. Tradition is no longer a set of communal values, but the tyrant's tool. Tyranny here is shown as not only political oppression, but moral self-disfigurement. The tyrant's bid for endless rule turns him into a monster. Ademilua-Afolayan does not portray the people as wholly passive. Iyagba and other community voices intervene and refuse to legitimize the tyrant schemes. It is female wisdom and communal courage that halt the ritual and expose the conspiracies that put Ajanaku on the throne. This counters the needs of the tyrant's invisibility and demonstrates a moral logic. When the people reclaim their traditions and conscience, tyranny loses its cover and begins to self-destruct. That is where internal conflict arises in that play. The play's resolution, the public exposure of Syllabu's role, the disgrace of the conspirators, and the death of Ajanaku functions as poetic justice. Tyranny collapses its own contradictions. The same manipulation that secure power become the instruments of exposure and ruin. That is, Ajanaku ruined himself through his action. The downfall affirms the playwright's central message. Tyrannical power, built on betrayal and brutality, is unsustainable. In conclusion, Once Upon an Elephant frames tyranny as a socially produced evil. It requires the complicity of selfish elites, the perversion of cultural forms, and the silencing of moral voices. Ajanaku is at once a symptom and the instrument of that evil, a ruler who rises by corruption, rules by terror and force because his power is founded on falsehood. Through the arc of his reign, the play warns that tyranny devours everything it touches: justice, tradition, human dignity, and finally, itself. So, it is what we witness in that play, self-destruction. Ajanaku is brought down through internal conflict. That is the major conflict that brings Ajanaku down in Once Upon an Elephant. So we have done justice to that question. That is, examine the theme of tyranny in Once Upon an Elephant, showing how Ajanaku embodies the destructive tendencies of dictators. Please, if you are new on this platform, try and click on the subscribe button if you are on YouTube and the bell icon so you have to be part of this class. Whenever any video is produced, you are going to be notified. Like this video. You are free to share it on any social media platform. Invite your friends and colleagues to join us. If you have any question or comment, send it to the comment section. Don't forget this ebook. It has 200 questions altogether. There are 200 questions altogether in the book. So if you are interested, I will send the link. You will see the link in the comment section if you are on Facebook. If you are on YouTube, you will see it in the description of this video. So you can download it through the link. Thank you and God bless. Let's meet in the next class.